Emperor Gaozu of Han, 256–1 June 195 BC. Also known by his given name Liu Bang, was the founder and first emperor of the Han Dynasty, reigning from 202 to 195 BC. He is considered by traditional Chinese historiography to be one of the greatest emperors in history. Credited with establishing the first Pax Sinica, one of China's longest golden ages, Liu Bang was among the few dynastic founders to have been born in a peasant family. He initially entered the Qin dynasty bureaucracy as a minor law enforcement officer in his hometown in Pei County, within the conquered state of Chu. During the political chaos following the death of Qin Shi Huang, who had been the first emperor in Chinese history, Liu Bang renounced his civil service position and became a rebel leader. Taking up arms against the Qin dynasty, he outmaneuvered rival rebel leader Xiang Yu to invade the Qin heartland and forced the surrender of the Qin ruler Xiang in 206 BC. After the fall of the Qin dynasty, Xiang Yu, as the de facto chief of the rebels, divided the former Qin Empire into the 18 kingdoms, with Liu Bang forced to accept control of the poor and remote region of Bashu, present-day Sichuan, Chongqing, and southern Shaanxi, and assuming the title, King of Han. Within the year, Liu Bang broke out with his army and conquered the three Qins, starting the Chu-Han Contention, a civil war among various forces seeking to inherit the Qin dynasty's former supremacy over China. In 202 BC, Liu Bang emerged victorious following the Battle of Gaixia, unified most of China under his control, and established the Han dynasty with himself as the emperor. During his reign, Liu Bang reduced taxes and corvée labor, promoted Confucianism, and suppressed revolts by the rulers of vassal states not from his own clan. Among many other actions, he also initiated the policy of Hekin, a system of arranged marriages between nobles, to maintain peace between the Han Empire and the Xiongnu following the Han defeat at the Battle of Baidang in 200 BC. He died in 195 BC and was succeeded by his son Liu Yang. According to the Han dynasty's imperial mythology, Liu Bang's ancestors were the mythical Emperor Yao and the Yellow Emperor. Many ancient Chinese noble families claimed descent from the Yellow Emperor to justify their right to rule. Liu Bang was born during the later years of the Warring States period. His parents are only remembered as Liu Taigong and Liu Ao, Old Madam Liu. His family was from Zhangyang, Zhangyang in the state of Chu. According to legend, Liu Bang was conceived after Liu Ao encountered a Jiaolong during a rainstorm. According to records, the young Liu was outspoken, charismatic, generous and forbearing, but showed little interest in education or work, and frequently ran into trouble with the law. He was dependent on his brother for subsistence and his father called him a little rascal. Later, he became good friends with Zhang Er, the magistrate of the nearby Waihuing County and former retainer of Lord Xinling. He lived with Zhang Er for several months until the latter went into hiding after the conquest of Chu by Qin. When Liu returned to Pei County, his close friends at the county office, Xiao He and Cao Shen, often covered up his delinquent behavior and helped him get an appointment as the local sheriff, Ting Zhang, of Sishui village, Si Shui Tang. Liu also forged close relationships with most of the local county bureaucrats, and earned a small reputation in the county. While performing corvée labor in the Qin capital at Shenyang, he witnessed Qin Shi Huang undertaking an inspection tour. The royal procession impressed him. Liu's wife, Liu Ji, was the daughter of Liu Wen, Liu Weian, a wealthy and influential gentry from Shanfu County. After moving to Pei County, Liu held a feast for the local elite. Xiao He, who helped to collect gifts from the guests, declared that a seat inside the hall required gifts worth at least 1,000 coins. Liu attended the feast without money, and made an offer of 10,000 coins which Xiao He realized was not serious. Nonetheless, Liu had Liu seated beside him based on appearance alone. Liu, further impressed by Liu in conversation, offered his daughter in marriage. Liu and Liu Ji were married and had 2 children, Liu Ying and a daughter. Liu was responsible for escorting a group of penal laborers to the construction site of Qin Shi Huang's mausoleum at Mount Li. During the journey, some prisoners escaped. Under Qin law, allowing prisoners to escape was punishable by death. Rather than face punishment, Liu freed the remaining prisoners, some of whom willingly acknowledged him as their leader and joined him on the run from the law. As outlaws, they took over an abandoned stronghold on Mount Mangdang. During this time, Liu secretly remained in contact with some old friends in Pei County, including Xiao He and Cao Shen. According to the legend known as the Uprising of the Slaying of the White Serpent, Liu's ascension to rulership was prophesied after he became an outlaw. In the legend, his followers encountered a gigantic white serpent which killed some of them with its poisonous breath. That night, while he was drunk, Liu drew his sword and slew the serpent. The next morning, the outlaws encountered a crying old woman along the road. When they asked her why she was crying, she replied, "My child, the White Emperor's son, has been slain by the son of the Red Emperor." After that, she mysteriously disappeared. As this legend spread, Liu's reputation grew among his followers, who became convinced of his destiny. In 209 BC, Chen Sheng and Wu Guang started the Daizhixiang uprising to overthrow the Qin dynasty. The magistrate of Pei County considered joining the rebellion, and, acting on the advice of Xiao He and Cao Shen, invited Liu and his followers back to the county to support him. Fan Kuei, Liu's brother-in-law, delivered the message to the outlaws at Mount Mangdang. However, the magistrate later changed his mind and rescinded the offer. He also ordered Xiao and Cao to be killed lest they open the gates for Liu. But they escaped and joined Liu. On Xiao's advice, Liu wrote to his fellow commoners in Pei County, calling for them to rise up against the Qin dynasty. Copies of Liu's call to action were then delivered by arrows fired into Pei County over the city walls. The people responded to Liu's call by killing the magistrate and welcoming Liu back to Pei County. Now the leader of Pei County's population, Liu became known as the Duke of Pei, Pei Gong. In 208 BC, the Qin Empire faced rebellions that sought to restore the former 6 states conquered by the Qin during its wars of unification. In Wu County, a rebel group led by Zhang Liang installed Zhang Xin as King Y II of Chu. Liu led his followers to join that rebel group. After Zhang Liang was killed at the Battle of Dingtao, King Y II sent Xiang Yu, Zhang Liang's nephew, and Minister Song Yi to lead an army to reinforce the Zhao rebel group, which was under attack by Qin forces. Liu Bang was made Marquis of Wuan, Wu and Hu, and ordered to lead an army to attack the Guanzhong region, the heartland of the Qin dynasty. King Y II also promised to make whoever entered Guanzhong first the king of Guanzhong. In 207 BC, Liu won the race against Xiang Yu and arrived at Shenyang, the capital of the Qin dynasty. Xiang, the last Qin emperor, surrendered to Liu without resistance. Liu's occupation policies were informed by Fan Kuei, now his bodyguard, and his strategist Zhang Liang. Troops were forbidden from mistreating the population and looting. The harsh Qin laws were abolished. Murder, robbery and burglary remained subject to strict punishments. Order was quickly restored in the city, and Liu won the respect of the Guanzhong population. Xiao He ordered the collection of all legal documents in the Qin palace and government facilities for preservation. Xiang Yu disliked losing the race to Guanzhong. Acting on the advice of his advisor Fan Zeng and Cao Wushang, an informer from Liu's camp, Xiang Yu planned to assassinate Liu under the pretext of inviting him to attend a banquet at Swan Goose Gate, Hongmen, roughly present-day Hongmenbao village, Lintong district, Xi'an, Shaanxi. However, during the banquet, Xiang Yu was persuaded by his uncle Xiang Bo, who was also a close friend of Liu's advisor Zhang Liang, not to order Liu's assassination. Frustrated by the indecision, Fan Zeng ordered Xiang Yu's cousin Xiang Zhuang to pretend to perform a sword dance and find a chance to assassinate Liu. Yet, Xiang Bo intervened by joining the dance and blocking Xiang Zhuang every time he thrust his sword towards Liu. Meanwhile, Zhang Liang slipped away and summoned Fan Kuei, who arrived at the banquet in full armor and gave a speech chastising Xiang Yu for attempting to assassinate Liu despite the achievements Liu had made in overthrowing the Qin dynasty. Embarrassed by Fan's speech, Xiang Yu ordered the sword dance to stop and rewarded Fan for his bravery. Liu Bang then found a chance to escape Xiang Yu's camp by pretending to go to the latrine, and then led his troops out of Shenyang towards the west. Shortly after that, Xiang Yu led his forces into Shenyang, sacking the former Qin capital and burning the Epong Palace. After occupying Shenyang, Xiang Yu proclaimed himself hegemon king of Western Chu, and split the former Qin Empire into the 18 kingdoms. Although Liu Bang should rightfully become the king of Guanzhong per King Y2's earlier promise, Xiang Yu gave the Guanzhong region, divided into 3 kingdoms collectively known as the Three Qins, to 3 former Qin generals who had surrendered to him after the Battle of Julu. Liu Bang instead received the remote Bashu region, Sichuan Basin and Upper Han River Valley, as his kingdom. Along with the title, King of Han, Han Wang, he awarded Zhang Liang some gold and precious stones, which Zhang Liang then used to bribe Xiang Yu's uncle Xiangbo to ask Xiang Yu to grant Liu Bang the territory of Hanzhong as well. Liu and his men were then escorted across the Qinling Mountains by a detachment of Xiang Yu's forces into Hanzhong. Acting on Zhang Liang's advice, Liu destroyed the gallery roads leading into the Bashu region for strategic reasons, hinder future attacks from Xiang Yu, and make Xiang Yu believe that he had no intention of leaving Bashu after settling there. From 206 to 202 BC, Liu Bang engaged Xiang Yu in a power struggle, historically known as the Chu-Han Contention, for supremacy over China. While simultaneously attacking and subjugating the other kingdoms, Liu Bang's migration to Hanzhong was far from pleasant. His followers were mostly from the Wu and Chu flatland regions, so they could not adapt well to the mountainous terrain in Bashu. Moreover, there were many deserters every day. Liu also grew temperamental as he was very unhappy with his own predicament. One night, upon hearing a rumor that Xiao He had abandoned him, Liu almost had a nervous breakdown. When Xiao returned the following morning, Liu confronted him and demanded an explanation. Xiao revealed that he had left in a hurry after learning that Han Xin had deserted. Among all the deserters, Xiao was convinced that Liu could not afford to lose a talent like Han Xin. So that was why he had chosen to go after Han Xin only. And bring him back. Xiao then introduced Liu to Han Xin, who laid out his strategic plan to conquer the states. Impressed and convinced, Liu formally appointed Han Xin as a general of his army. Meanwhile, Xiang Yu's overbearing and arbitrary assignment of the 18 kingdoms had caused much resentment among the former rebel leaders. Nearly 4 months after Liu left for Bashu, a rebellion broke out in the Qi territories in late 206 BC, prompting Xiang Yu to lead his troops to suppress the revolt. On Han Xin's advice, Liu sent his men to pretend to rebuild the gallery roads while secretly dispatching Han Xin with an army to attack the Three Qins via another route through Chenkang. Han Xin took Zhang Han, one of the rulers of the Three Qins, by surprise and defeated him in battle. After that, the other 2 rulers decided to surrender to Liu. By August or September 205 BC, the Three Qins and the Guanzhong region had come under Liu's control. While Xiang Yu was busy suppressing the rebellion in the Qi lands, Liu gathered an army of 560,000 from the Bashu and Guanzhong regions and marched east to attack western Chu. En route, he encountered Peng Yu, who joined his cause upon promise of a fiefdom in the Wei territories. Liu then ordered Peng Yu to lead his 30,000 men to pacify the surrounding areas, while he led his 560,000 troops into Penchang, present-day Suzhou. Jiangsu, the western Chu capital, apparently unopposed, due to lack of military discipline. Liu's soldiers looted and pillaged Penchang after occupying it. Upon learning of the fall of Penchang, Xiang Yu left the bulk of his forces to continue fighting in Qi, while he personally led 30,000 elite troops to retake his capital. He made camp about 10 li near present-day Shao County, Anhui, and attacked Penchang at dawn. By noon, Xiang Yu had routed Liu's unprepared forces, driving them towards the nearby Jiu and Xi rivers, where over 100,000 men drowned or were killed by Chu soldiers. The remaining Han forces fled south to higher ground but were trapped by Chu forces near the Sui River, where another 100,000 men lost their lives and their corpses even blocked the river flow. Liu escaped Penchang with only a dozen horsemen and headed to Pei County to fetch his family. Xiang Yu also sent troops to Pei County to capture Liu's family, but they had all fled earlier. Xiang Yu's men coerced a local into revealing the whereabouts of Lu's family, and managed to capture Lu's parents and Lu's wife Lu Ji. En route, Lu encountered his and Lu Ji's children, Princess Yuan and Lu Ying, and picked them up in his carriage, which was driven by Xiao He. In his desperation to escape and lighten the load, Lu attempted thrice to push his children out of the carriage and abandoned them. However, each time, Xiao He stopped him and saved the children. After their disastrous defeat at Pengcheng, the strength of the Han forces decreased drastically. Many of the kings who had surrendered to Lu earlier defected to Xiang Yu's side. Moreover, the states of Qi and Zhao, which were previously at war with Western Chu, also requested to make peace. Upon reaching Xiaoyi, east of present-day Dongshan County, Anhui, Lu regrouped his forces and prepared for a retreat. When he arrived at Yu County, he sent an envoy to meet Ying Bu, the king of Zhujiang, to seek his support. Ying Bu, who had already been holding a grudge against Xiongnu over the latter's unfair assignment of the 18 kingdoms, agreed to side with Lu. In response to Ying Bu's betrayal, Xiang Yu sent Long Ju with an army to attack Zhujiang. In 205 BC, Lu designated his son Lu Ying as crown prince and stationed him in Yueyang. Shortly after, Lu's forces attacked and captured Feichu, present-day Xingping. Shaanxi, Zhang Han, the king of Yang, committed suicide after his defeat. In the south, Ying Bu failed to resist Long Ju's attack, so he gave up on Zhujiang and went to join Lu. Lu reorganized his forces, incorporating reinforcements from the Guanzhong region, and marched east to attack Xiongnu again at Jing and Suo counties, both around present-day Xinjiang. Henan. The battle was historically known as the Battle of Jingsuo. Lu emerged victorious and drove Xiongnu's forces eastward out of Xinjiang. In 204 BC, after sustaining losses from Chu attacks on his supply routes to Xinjiang, Lu's forces began to run short of supplies, so Lu requested to make peace with Xiongnu, agreeing to cede the lands east of Xinjiang to Xiongnu. Initially, Xiongnu wanted to accept Lu's offer, but his advisor Fan Zeng urged him to reject it and use the opportunity to attack and destroy Lu. Xiongnu thus changed his mind, pressed the attack on Xinjiang, and besieged Lu inside the city. Lu heeded Chen Ping's suggestion to use 40,000 caddies of gold to bribe some of Xiongnu's men and get them to spread rumors that Fan Zeng had the intention of betraying Xiongnu. Xiongnu fell for the ruse and dismissed Fan Zeng. Later that year, while Xiongnu was away suppressing a rebellion in Qi territories, Lu seized the chance to attack and conquer Chenggao, defeating Xiongnu's forces led by Cao Ju near the Xi River. Lu then advanced further east until he reached Guangwu, trapping Xiongnu's forces under Zhang Liang in the area. Following Han Xin's victory against the allied forces of Chu and Qi at the Battle of Wei River in the north, the morale of the Chu forces fell and they started running short of supplies months later. Xiongnu had no choice but to request to make peace with Lu, offering to release Lu's family members whom he had captured earlier and had been holding hostage. Both sides agreed to a ceasefire and to divide China into west and east under the Han and Chu kingdoms along the Han Canal, which runs through present-day Zhengzhou, Xinjiang and Jiangmu in Henan. This agreement was also historically known as the Treaty of Han Canal. In 203 BC, while Xiang Yu was retreating eastwards, Lu, acting on Zhang Liang and Chen Ping's advice, renounced the peace agreement and prepared to attack Xiang Yu. He also sent messengers to meet Han Xin and Peng Yu, seeking their assistance to launch a coordinated attack on Xiang Yu from 3 directions. However, Han Xin and Peng Yu failed to mobilize their forces, so Lu ended up being defeated by Xiang Yu at Guling, south of present-day Taikang County. Henan. After retreating and reinforcing his defenses, Lu sent word to Han Xin and Peng Yu again, promising to award them fiefs and noble titles if they joined him in attacking Xiang Yu. They finally agreed this time. 3 months later in 202 BC, the combined forces of Lu, Han Xin and Peng Yu attacked Xiang Yu from 3 directions. Running low on supplies, Xiang Yu and his forces found themselves trapped in Gaixia, in present-day Anhui. There, Han Xin ordered his troops to sing folk songs from the Chu lands to evoke feelings of nostalgia among Xiongnu's men, who were mostly from Chu, and create the impression that many Chu soldiers had surrendered and joined the opposing side. The morale of Xiongnu's forces plummeted and many of his soldiers deserted. Xiang Yu attempted to fight his way out but encountered several ambushes along the way. Eventually, he was left with only 28 men when he reached the northern bank of the Wu River, Wujiang, near present-day He County. Anhui, where he made a last stand and managed to slay over 100 enemy soldiers before committing suicide by slitting his throat. In 202 BC, Liu became emperor with the support of his subjects even though he had expressed reluctance to take the throne. The dynasty was named Han, with the imperial capital at Luoyang, later moved to Chang'an. Liu Bang also instated his wife Liu Ji as empress and their son Liu Ying as crown prince. The following year, Liu wanted to reward his subjects who had contributed to the founding on the Han Empire. But the process dragged on for a year as they could not agree on how to distribute the rewards. Liu felt that Xiao He had made the greatest contribution, so he made Xiao a marquis and gave him the largest amount of food stores. However, some of his other subjects expressed objections, saying that Xiao should not get the best reward since he had never fought on the front line during the battles. Nonetheless, Liu countered by saying that Xiao should receive the highest credit as he was responsible for planning their overall strategy in the war against Xiongnu. Liu then named Cao Shen as the one who had made the greatest contribution in battle, and proceeded to reward him and the others accordingly. Emperor Gaozu disbanded his armies and allowed the soldiers to return home. He gave an order stating that the people who remained in Guanzhong were exempted from taxes and corvée for 12 years, while those who returned to their respective native territories were exempted for 6 years and that the central government would provide for them for a year. He also granted freedom to those who had sold themselves into slavery to avoid hunger during the wars. In 195 BC, the emperor issued 2 decrees. The first officialized the lowering of taxes and corvée. The second set the amount of tribute to be paid by the vassal kings to the imperial court in the 10th month of every year. The land tax on agricultural production was reduced to a rate of 1/15 of crop yield. He also privatized the coinage. In his early life, Liu disliked reading and scorned Confucianism. After becoming emperor, he still had a disdain for Confucianism until he met the scholar Liu Jia, who wrote the Xiang Yu, a 12-volume book espousing the benefits of governing by moral virtue as opposed to using harsh and punitive laws, as the Qin dynasty did previously. After completing each volume, Liu Jia read it to the emperor, who was deeply impressed. Under Liu's reign, Confucianism flourished and gradually replaced legalism, which had been prominent during the Qin dynasty, as the state ideology. Confucian scholars, including Liu Jia, were recruited to serve in the government. The emperor also reformed the legal system by relaxing some laws inherited from the Qin dynasty and reducing the severity of certain penalties. Sometime in January or February 195 BC, after suppressing Ying Bu's rebellion, Liu passed by Confucius's birthplace in Shandong, where he held a ceremony to pay tribute to the philosopher. In his later years, Liu favored consort Qi and neglected Liu Ji. He felt that Liu Ying, his heir apparent, born to the empress, was too weak to be a ruler, so he had the intention of replacing Liu Ying with another son, Liu Ruyi, who was born to consort Qi, feeling worried that her son might lose his status as crown prince. Liu Ji sought the help of Zhang Liang, who recommended 4 reclusive wise men, the 4 whiteheads of Mount Shang, to speak up for Liu Ying. In 195 BC, as Liu's health started worsening, he desired even more to replace Liu Ying with Liu Ruyi. Zhang Liang initially attempted to dissuade the emperor from doing so, but the emperor ignored him, so he retired, claiming that he was ill. Shusen Tong and Zhou Chang, also strongly objected to the idea of changing the crown prince. Zhou Chang even said, "I am not good in talking, but I know this is not right. If your majesty deposes the crown prince, I won't follow your orders anymore." As Zhou Chang spoke with a stutter, Liu found it rather amusing and he laughed. After that, much to Liu's surprise, the 4 whiteheads of Mount Shang showed up in his court. They had previously declined to serve in his government when he invited them to. The four men promised to help Liu Ying in the future if he were to remain as crown prince. The emperor was so pleased to see that Liu Ying had their support. So he dismissed the idea of changing his heir apparent. After the Han dynasty was established, Liu enfeoffed various princes and vassal kings and awarded them each a territory in exchange for their allegiance and assistance in governing the empire. Among them were 7 vassal kings who were not related to Liu's clan: Zhang Tu, the king of Yan; Han Xin, the king of Han; Han Xin, the king of Chu; Peng Yu, the king of Liang; Ying Bu, the king of Huainan; Zhang the king of Zhao; Wu Rui, the king of Changsha. As time passed, Liu became increasingly distrustful of the vassal kings, feeling worried that they might turn against him since they had no blood ties with him after all. Han Xin and Peng Yu were falsely accused of treason, and arrested and executed along with their families. Ying Bu and Zhang Tu started rebellions but were defeated and killed. Only Wu Rui and Zhang were left. The Xiongnu to the north had posed a threat since the Qin dynasty. Qin Shi Huang had sent the general Meng Tian to oversee the defenses on the Qin Empire's northern border and the construction of the Great Wall to repel the invaders. Meng Tian had achieved success in deterring the Xiongnu from advancing beyond the border. However, after the Qin dynasty collapsed, the Xiongnu seized the opportunity to move south and raid the border again. In 201 BC, one of the vassal kings, Han Xin, king of Han, defected to the Xiongnu leader, Modu. In the following year, Liu personally led an army to attack the Xiongnu but was besieged and trapped by the enemy during the Battle of Baidang. Acting on Chen Ping's advice, he bribed Modu's wife with gifts and got her to ask her husband to withdraw his forces. Modu did so. After returning to the capital, Liu Bang, acting on advice from Liu Jing, initiated the policy of Hekan, which involved sending noble ladies to marry the Xiongnu leaders and paying annual tribute to the Xiongnu in exchange for peace between the Han Empire and the Xiongnu. Liu Bang was recorded to have had a male lover known as Jiru, who was said to have easier access to the emperor than the emperor's other subjects. Liu was wounded in battle by a stray arrow while suppressing Ying Bu's rebellion and became seriously ill. He remained in his inner chambers for a long time and ordered his guards to deny entry to anyone who wanted to visit him. After several days, Liu's brother-in-law Fan Kuei barged in, followed closely by the emperor's other subjects. They saw the emperor lying in bed, attended to by a eunuch. Fan Kuei said, "How glorious it was when your majesty first led us to conquer the empire and how weary we are now. Your subjects are worried when they learn that your majesty is ill. But your majesty refuses to see us and prefers the company of a eunuch instead. Has your majesty forgotten about what happened with Zhao Gao?" The emperor laughed and got out of bed to meet his subjects. Liu's health deteriorated, so the empress hired a famous physician to heal him. When Liu inquired about his condition, the physician told him that his illness could be cured. However, the emperor was displeased, scolding the physician. "Isn't it heaven's will that I managed to conquer this empire despite being of humble origin and armed with nothing but a sword? My life is determined by heaven. It is useless even if BNK were here." He refused to continue with the treatment and sent the physician away. Before his death, he said that Cao Shen could succeed Xiao He as the chancellor after Xiao died, and that Wang Ling, could succeed Cao Shen. He also said that Wang Ling might be too young to perform his duties, so Chen Ping could assist Wang. But Chen was also qualified to assume the responsibilities of a chancellor all by himself. He also named Zhou Bo as a possible candidate for the role of Grand Commandant. He died in Changle Palace, Zhangjiang, Chang'an, on the 1st of June 195 BC and was succeeded by his son Liu Ying. The Song of the Great Wind is a song composed by Liu Bang in 195 BC when he visited his hometown in Pei County after suppressing Ying Bu's rebellion. He prepared a banquet and invited all his old friends and townsfolk to join him. After some drinks, Liu Bang played the guqin and sang the Song of the Great Wind.